My cabinet colleagues, Shri Sushil Kumar Shinde ji, Shri P. Chidambaram ji, Shri Mallapalli Ramchandran, Shri Narayan Swamy, Chief Ministers of States, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I welcome all Chief Ministers and other distinguished participants from states to this very important annual conference on internal security. We are meeting today in the aftermath of the brutal and inhuman attack by left-wing extremists on Congress leaders and workers and their security personnel in Chhattisgarh a few days back. Such violence has no place in our democracy. The center and the states need to join hands to ensure that such events do not recur. I have noted from the agenda papers that there is a separate session on left-wing extremism in this conference, and I would urge you to make good use of this opportunity to come up with some concrete measures to deal with the very grave threat of Naxalism. I must point out here that the challenge of Naxalism has received our serious attention for quite some time now. We have adopted a two-pronged strategy to deal with the challenge, conducting proactive and sustained operations against Maoist extremists and addressing development and governance issues in left-wing extremism affected areas. A number of measures have been taken as part of this two-track strategy. These include strengthening the security apparatus, improved road connectivity in 34 most left-wing extremist affected districts, relaxation of norms of various development schemes in the affected areas, and the integrated action plan for 82 selected tribal and backward districts. We have achieved some successes too. In the last couple of years, there has been a substantial reduction in the number of incidents and deaths caused by left-wing extremist groups and an increase in the number of Naxalite surrenders. But major violent attacks by Naxalite, like the recent one in Chhattisgarh, are setbacks that have occurred periodically. The center and the states need to work together to eliminate such large-scale attacks. The central government, on its part, has already started taking steps in this regard. The Cabinet Secretary, the Home Secretary, and my office have been involved in an exercise that would lead to a further strengthening of our defensive and offensive capabilities against left-wing extremists. I hope that the state governments will cooperate fully with us and add to the effectiveness of these efforts. I must also emphasize here that the two-pronged strategy that we have followed so far needs to be strengthened and pursued with rigor, even as we intensify our efforts to strengthen the security and intelligence apparatus in areas affected by the Maoist violence. We should be able to ensure that people residing in left-wing extremist affected areas are able to live in an environment of peace and security and derive full benefits of our development efforts. To build a broader national consensus on the strategy to tackle the Naxalite challenge, government has convened a meeting of all political parties on the 10th of this month. Ladies and gentlemen, the year 2012 saw a significant improvement in the security situation in Jammu and Kashmir. Our strategy to prevent cross-border infiltration by militants and our intelligence-based counter-terrorism operations in Jammu and Kashmir have resulted in a decline in the level of terrorist violence by about one-third in 2012 as compared to 2011. In fact, terrorist violence parameters in 2012 have been the lowest since the upsurge in terrorist activities 2 decades ago. The record inflow of tourists and pilgrims during 2012 also points to an improved security situation in the state. The implementation of several infrastructure projects in Jammu and Kashmir is progressing well. The Himayat and Udaan schemes, which aim at providing additional gainful employment to the youth, have also achieved a fair measure of success. These are welcome developments. The security situation in the Northeast continues to be complex, with insurgency, extortions, and agitation being the main disruptive elements in the hands of the insurgents. However, there has been considerable progress in dialogue with several insurgent and ethnic separatist groups in the northeastern region. A memorandum of understanding has been signed with both factions of Dima Halam Dorga of Dima Hasau in Assam. 3 Methi insurgent groups have signed a memorandum of understanding in February 2013. Talks with the National Socialist Council of Nagaland are continuing. The Gorkhaland Territorial Administration has been set up as an autonomous body in August 2012 to administer the Gorkhaland region and ensure its all-round development. The Centre is committed to providing financial assistance of Rs 200 crores per annum for 3 years for projects aimed at developing the socio-economic infrastructure in the GTA areas. Ladies and gentlemen, we are committed to undertaking and bringing to a satisfactory conclusion dialogue with all groups and organizations which are willing to give up violence to seek solutions within the framework of our Constitution. We are equally firm in our determination to continue assisting the states of the Northeast to enhance their law and order enforcement capabilities so that the people of the Northeast enjoy the normal fruits of democracy and development. Ladies and gentlemen, I also wish to take today's opportunity to draw your attention to 2 other issues relating to our internal security that require special attention. The first is the increase in the number and intensity of incidents of communal and sectarian violence during 2012 as compared to the previous years. I am sure that all of us agree that maintenance of communal harmony in our country is critical for our continued growth and prosperity. It is absolutely imperative that we deal very firmly with communal forces of all types. Simultaneously, we also need to recognize and address the special needs of minorities and weaker sections of our society, particularly the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. The second issue which requires our collective action is that of crimes against women and children. We have recently enacted several laws providing stringent punishment for such crimes and more sensitive treatment of victims during investigation and trial. These include the Criminal Law Amendment Act 2013, the Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Prevention, Prohibition and Redressal Act 2013 and the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act 2012. We also need to put in place institutional mechanisms to ensure the safety and security of women and children, particularly in the urban context. Such mechanisms include sensitization of police personnel, particularly at levels with which the victim comes into contact, setting up dedicated helplines, measures for safety at the workplace, and so on. I would urge all of you to explore how these outcomes can be best achieved. Ladies and gentlemen, capacity building and modernization of state police forces are absolutely essential for meeting the emerging challenges to internal security, which range from terrorism to urban policing. The Center remains committed to supporting states in this regard. The scheme for the modernization of state police forces has been extended for a further period of 5 years with a total outlay of about rupees 12,000 crores. An amount of rupees 433 crores has been additionally provided for mega city policing in the 6 cities of Kolkata, Mumbai, Chennai, Bengaluru, Ahmedabad, and Hyderabad. We are also committed to improving border management and coastal security. Greater focus and priority than before is being given to the work of fencing and construction of additional border outposts along the India-Bangladesh border, the construction and upgradation of roads along the Indo-China, India-Nepal and India-Bhutan borders, as well as the development of integrated checkposts on the India-Pakistan and India-Nepal borders. We are also continuing implementation of the Border Area Development Program and of Phase 2 of the Coastal Security Scheme. The need for coordinated effort by center and state agencies to deal with terrorism and other security challenges, irrespective whether they are internal or external in origin, has been emphasized in all earlier conferences of chief ministers on internal security. In view of the criticality of this requirement, I would urge you once more to explore how we can achieve even better coordination between the center and the states. I also believe that the time has now come to view the challenges of terrorism, communal violence, and left-wing extremism in a holistic manner. I think each one of us needs to be completely objective in our approach to these issues, acting in national interest and rising above narrow political and ideological divides. Rising above narrow political and ideological divides. I would appeal to all political parties and all sections of society to work together to find effective ways and means of meeting these grave challenges. Ladies and gentlemen, let me end by wishing this conference all success. I look forward to receiving your valuable suggestions on how to further strengthen the internal security of our country. Thank you and Jai Hind.